birthday, John.
Hi, Dan. Happy birthday. How are you?
Yes, but I'm going to Chicago. Oh, yes.
Party this close. The annual meeting that they can send.
I thought the reason we would think it wasn't this is because of Penny down. Happy birthday to you. Most you got, most of them. For you, I do everything for you if I can.
How are you, buddy? We got everybody.
so busy planning this thing the whole time.
It's wild turkey. Just like the sign says.
What about Philip and Steve?
Oh, Phil, I talked to Phil. I talked to him Thursday. He was in the hospital.
Oh, yeah.
He just had some surgery. Yeah, Steve. I tried to see Steve, but I talked to Phil. But I haven't
Is
seen
it
him.
St. Louis or?
In St. Louis, yeah.
Yeah, we went up there. Yeah.
He got
I had
shot.
found out that about a week before, after that. We had done a reunion. We had a reunion with, well, I don't know if you knew all them guys that went to Heights and that, like Mouse and all that group. And Art Smith. Remember Art Smith? He used to live up on the upper part of Maple. Well, he owned a farm with Gambati out in Huntsburg. So we had a reunion from Cleveland Heights over there, you know? And Timmy was there.
Big Amity.
Michael's brother, Jimmy. Michael hung around with Joe Bronco. I don't know if you remember Bronco. She didn't go to Heights with us. She went to West Team.
Yeah. Well, 1 year in Latin, and then out the West.
Right, yeah. Remember you and me? Remember that? That was pretty special.
Said happy birthday. Surprised to see happy
I feel just like I'm in the East. Everyone's carrying a Sony projector and light and what have you. We continue to show our
The girls, too.
Don't move.
All right, unzip the pants. We'll measure today.
Now say something. Stay there, Danny. Tell me about cutting vegetables.
Well, we cut it this way and that way. And when we got it just right, we put them on the tray.
For 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, don't forget the fruit.
For 3 hours.
We cut melons. We're thinking about going into business.
Runs in the family.
It's fun. You gotta come down to Florida as business. We'll lay it out.
How long do I have to smile?
What?
How long do I have to smile?
As long as you want.
Smile because it's cool now. Oh, I thought it said Tony.
Complaining about taking care of the insurance. That's right. Because the insurance may be higher.
Eat it during your usual thing. Open out.
Lay it on it just the way it is. Maybe a whole lot less than crack.
Okay, now's the moment you've all been waiting for. I get to finish that goddamn striptease I started. John, were you really surprised? Tell us how you felt and if you had any suspicions. Wait a minute.
The only suspicion was that he felt strangely silent about doing something in my person. For about 3 weeks, he felt strangely silent, and anybody that knows me knows that's not like me. That plus the fact that this is about within 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the Edgewater annual meeting, and since
Oh, don't go making excuses now like you're so smart, buddy. Come on, admit it.
but I figured the guy owns this place, and I'm not anyway, so he'd do something like that. Other than that, it's really surprised.
So are you saying we're surprised you were?
You're never going to turn me into a
He's a lawyer. What do you expect?
That I'm more surprised with the number of people over here and the mix of the group. I never expected. In a million years to see some people over here.
You owe us a lot. We're just going to tell you some of the people who were just so wonderful in helping out. For those of you who don't know her, Crazy Millie, would you come up here, please? I love this one. Millie is my mom and Rita's mom, and she lives with Rita and John and Melinda. And she's been doing real strange things for the last couple of weeks. And John called my husband Tom, Tom's the guy with the video stuff running around here. Those of you who don't know him, he's a doctor, and he called real seriously last week, and he said, Tom, check Millie's medication. There's something wrong with her. And so we just let him believe that because she's like that all the time anyway. So thank you, Millie. And where did Bob Ritter go? Bob Ritter was our piano player. We want to thank him tonight because without him I couldn't have taken my the catering. How many of you like the food tonight? It's a brand new catering company. This is its premiere performance tonight. And it's by two people. They're called the Tomei and Twosome, and you'll all find out how good it was in about 3 hours. Let's introduce Mary Jo Essex, and myself. Come on, John really thought that they were babysitting my kids one day. That was Good Friday. Mary Jo was at my house all day and all night and the next day. And we want to thank Peggy for making dessert, and you're going to get dessert from John Peters later, which is wonderful Hungarian, and he also did these beautiful flowers for you, Ben. Guess how many?
24.
Say it together. Yay! So we want to thank John because you had a birthday today, and without this, Mary Jo and I wouldn't have been tearing our hair out for the last month. And we have a couple of prizes to give to some people. Oh, and David, where's David? Where are you? David did the pate for all of you that have been asking me my recipe, and I couldn't give it to you. My recipe is David. Mary Jo and I made everything from scratch that you're eating. If we ran out of a recipe, we scratched our head of it, and we scratched here, we scratched there, and eventually we came up with it. We have some prizes tonight for people who came the farthest, and just anybody throw out a place where you think the person who came the farthest came from. Those of you, no, don't answer for me, but Detroit, where else? New York.
Brunswick.
Okay, go to the top from Germany. Come on over here. And over the hill sucker, because anybody who came all that way has got to be white.
John, and this is really important, and I would be very remiss if I didn't take care of this right up front. But Melinda may or may not become an artist, but she really made a valiant effort here for a crown for her father on his 50th birthday. And in the front it says, "I love you."
She writes that for everybody, so don't think that she doesn't.
Oh, you just wrote this bubble. Gee. Okay.
When he came in, Ed, our good buddy Ed, was at the door when he came in, and he asked you to put some captions on the pictures. And there's some good ones there already, and we're encouraging you to put a few more down. We'll tell you what they are. We have some little prizes for that later. And we also gave everybody a little questionnaire, and you were supposed to fill it out the way that you thought John would fill it out. And we're going to go through these now. Unfortunately, we wanted everybody to keep them, so I'll just pass them out to you, I guess. And we're going to go through them and listen to what John's answers would have been. And the ones that got the most correct would get some of our over-the-hill suckers, too.
Okay, John, the first question that you have to answer is the biggest fish story John ever told, and there are 5 possible answers. A, you should have seen the one that got away. B, the check is in the mail. C, trust me. D, believe me, it's really 18 inches. E, other.
Now, if you have any others, you tell us your others. We want to hear some of the others from the audience, too.
B, the check is in the mail. D is in dog. Believe me, it's really 18 inches.
That's what you told Millie when you asked her. If you could find me. My shoe is only size 15. So.
There's a definite correlation. Okay, number 2, why did John name his daughter Melinda? A, his boyhood sweetheart was Melinda.
Oh, it's oh, boy, I'm sorry.
You be all right?
Am I wrong?
B, cat selected. C, Aunt Nita's proper name is Melinda. D, he was named after his Hungarian great-grandmother. And E, of course, our famous other.
D.
A and B. And D. He is a boy. A, his boyhood sweetheart was indeed Melinda. And B, I don't know how this worked out, but the cat selected. How the hell that worked?
We read that.
Very bad.
The girl, and the paper was lying down somewhere in the house. The cat grabbed it, bit the paper, and
Wait, now let me take a photo.
I didn't know why it was.
I don't need the microphone. I'm a teacher. What the hell do I need a microphone? I've been teaching at whatever these laws, girl.
Here I was, after having gone through. Delivering this kid C-section, and we still don't have a name. Now, mind you, we knew she was going to be a girl from after the amnio. So we had all these names, so I could not decide because John and I sometimes do not make decisions well together. So the kid is born, and they're going, "What are you going to call her?" Well, we couldn't decide. So there was a piece of paper with 10 names that we finally could agree on, 10 possible names for girls. So they went home, and he called me then later on in the morning, and he said, I said, well, what are we going to name her? I have to fill out these papers in here. He said, I don't know. And I said, get the list out, read it back to me again. And here the cat had gone through and tore out a chunk of paper right by the name Melinda. And I said, well, that's it. And that's how Melinda was named.
As long as you're rolling on how she got her name, tell them what happened because you didn't have a name for her in the beginning, in terms of the birth certificate.
Oh, well, no, this, a lot of you I know heard this story. And Joe Corso was a part of this story. John and I, when we were married, I didn't change my name, and it was a little bone of contention for a while. So after Melinda was born, and I had to fill out the papers, I put down mother's name, Rita Briggs, father, John Marksz, daughter, Melinda Briggs Marksz. And I filled it out very properly, being a school teacher, of course. And that was when he was still downtown with Joe, and so he said to Joe, he said, Joe, would you go pick up the birth certificate, please? And Joe called, laughing hysterically on the phone, goes, hey, John, I just picked up the birth certificate for your daughter. And John said, so why are you laughing? He said, because it says, mother, Rita Briggs, baby girl, Melinda, father, unknown. I don't think that's very funny. So Dad calls me and he goes, look at this thing. He said, look what you've done by not changing your name. Now you're going to have to go to probate court and change. And I went to probate court.
All right, number 3 on the scorecard. As a father, as a father, John admits it's A, the most wonderful experience in the world. B, time for me to get a one-way ticket to Brazil. C, you can keep her till she's 21. D, if you believe A, I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge. And E, other.
Real quick.
Most wonderful experience in the world. That's A. Time for me to get a one-way ticket to Brazil. That's B. You can keep her till she's 21. That's C. And D, if you believe A, D. I'll sell you the Brooklyn Bridge.
That's right.
I picked C, John.
Yeah, that might help. Okay, number 4, the Beta fraternity brothers. A. Oh, God. Rarely dated virgin women. That's A. B. One dated. Won the Western Reserve University 1962 President's Award for exemplary conduct on campus. Right. Where's me? I have paid in the door to put us on social media. C, never used foul language, of course. Never smoked or drank booze. I didn't smoke any booze, I drank one. And E, other. E, other.
All the above.
All of the above. Okay. John trained his own hunting dogs to sniff out A, bears, B, ducks, C, 18-year-old blondes, D, hunting caps with bullet holes, E, other.
C.
And
Taught him how to bark.
What do you think, John? You think C, 18-year-old blonde. Number 6, when John proposed to Rita, he, A, got down on his hands and knees.
Well, we know that's not true.
B, was drunk out of his head. C, hoped she would not accept. D, wanted a cleaning lady he wouldn't have to pay every week.
You better come up with others, brother. There is no other in this
I would have to say, wow, you gave me C. I would have to say C.
Hope she would not accept. Turn that over. I think we're going to move on to another question. This could get rough. As an attorney, he, A, never bribes the judge. B, always treats profession because he can legally bullshit. He uses facial expressions, sad, happy, disgust, to get his point across. E, there is another.
No other.
C. Definitely C. Okay, according to Rita, John's biggest asset is his A, nose, B, bank account, C, non-complaining personality, D, power of convincing clients that he knows what they think he knows. He's going to go with D, gang. Power convincing clients.
Jay. You talked about before.
John's worst gripe is A, having hamburgers and baked beans for dinner. B, listening to off-color jokes. C, hearing his daughter justifiably contradict him. D, paying for Lake Erie water when he can reach out and touch it. E is other. He's gonna go with C. Let us do her thing. Okay, last but not least, John's favorite color is green. Reminds him of money. Red. But he sees every time Rita buys another pair of shoes.
We call Rita Mills and Marksz. She had Millie put the shoes up in her bedroom and think they're hers.
C, black. The way he likes his checkbook balance.
Oh, Reggie, where's Peggy?
D is pink. The way he likes to feel. And E, other.
I have to say, my favorite color is green, not blue. Probably, since pink is all the words, probably C.
Okay. Very good.
Did anybody get them all right? Thank you.
Whole stack here.
Well, you know what? Everybody who did it, at the end, we'll give you some suckers. Me, you got them all right.
Hey, you got them all right.
You get the whole box, maybe.
Okay, we're going to move right along here. There's some people who are unable to be here this evening. And in lieu of their being here, I've sent some letters. There's one letter here we want to read. The second letter I can't read because I can't read the writing. Maybe, John, you can read that when you take it home. So Jack's been willing enough to come up here and read this first letter for us from Harry and Linda Savage. Oh, I'm sorry, Harvey and Linda Savage.
There's a lot of nice people here tonight, John. Whoever brought the bird was real nice. The palm trees were terrific. But those two over there, John, have been giving you the bird all night long. If I step back here by the leg of the farm. It says, John. And he titles this, John, A Trip to the Yachtsman's Club via Scudder Bay. This episode had to occur the summer of 1967. It was a Thursday morning when we set out in Bill Robertson's new 26-foot Trojan boat. Destination. Destination, South Bass Island, the Yachtsman's Club. It was you, John, Jack Miller, that name sounds familiar to me,
Yeah, Jack.
Bill, and me, on a westerly heading from Fairport Harbor we anticipated Kelly's Island in about 4.5 hours. We contracted land all right, but we found ourselves among many fishnet markers, and the landmass was barren other than shrub trees and no homes or cottages visible. We began getting this eerie feeling like being on another planet. Remember that, John? I do, John, because you were in charge of navigation. About this time, I think the charts came out, and the vodka martinis went in. I added that one. Sorry didn't put that in there. The weather by now was looking more threatening, and since we decided the landmass which we had encountered was not Kelly's Island, but the north shore of Peavy Island, we determined by the chart that our point of refuge would be Scudder Bay. Our fuel situation was not improving either. It was now clear that we would need fuel to make our journey south to the Yachtsman's Club. After locating and docking at Scudder Bay, we then had to search for someone to assist us. Except on Thursday afternoon, everyone goes fishing. Thus, the gas dock was closed. Only because the skies were darkening did the owner return. After fueling, we set a course for South Bass Island. I'll add another one here. And we weren't sure we were still going to get there, John, because you set the course. About a half hour out of Scudder Bay, the skies caved in. We found ourselves in torrents of rain, lightning, and thunder, and lousy visibility. Boy, was that rain. But we thrust on. Quite a rocky, wet ride. But we made it into the waiting arms of our beloved wives. No.
That was Rosalie, not me.
Harvey puts in here, too. No, Jack and Karen are the only couple still together. Remember, you're my attorney. It turned out later, the reason we missed any point of destination, we missed our point of destination by so much was Robertson's boat, being new, he hadn't had the compass calibrated. Happy 50th, John, Harvey and Linda Savage. P.S. One more thing, John. Did you really eat that glass?
Yeah. I'll tell you about the glass. I'll tell you about the glass.
John,
All right, tell me.
glass was 1958.
Okay, come on, tell me.
Me and Turkey Benedict held the record.
Champagne glass in Little Italy with
Is Sophie here?
person and meatball.
Is Sophie here?
Fred 812.
Did you want to say something? I have your name next time. I don't remember that.
That's because John
I don't remember anything.
Entire champagne
Diane? Is Diane here? Diane Tibbet? I don't know where this list was made up. I just inherited it when I walked in.
Wait a minute, Jack.
Okay.
The glass was, okay, besides the champagne thing, it's like, where's Aunt Helen? When Dick got married, they went over and that's her youngest son, and they changed the cake because he had Rick on there. The kids always called him Dickie, so they took Ginger was the one. Ginger didn't put the cake and made it to Dickie. So when we're there, they're going, is it true John eats glass? And like, this is one of the maybe 5th or 6th times I've been out with John, and I'm going, he eats glass? And they're going, where John eats glass? And John ate a glass. It was a, yes he did, it was a, it was a fruit glass. He's a barbarian, I'm telling you. The glass, he chewed it up and swallowed it. No, he swallowed it.
You got glass. John just stole.
50-year-old guts, they bleed.
Okay, John, there's a letter here from Diane Tibbet. Am I pronouncing that right? Thank you. I'm going to do my best to read it. I'm one of the great readers, as most of my fraternity brothers know. May 1990, Dear John. Hope it's not really a Dear John letter.
Is this thing running?
Okay, the first time I was aware of you was at the Waterford, is that right? Waterford Owners Meeting in June of 1977. You were nominated from the floor for a board position, and I thought, just who is this person? Well, during the past 14 years, I found out. Shortly after meeting, John, you and I had dinner together at the Lake Shore.
Oh, I never heard about that.
I'm just reading the letter. We talked of many things that evening and tried to get to know each other for the purpose ahead, working together as board members. Very explicit.
Is that what they used to say?
Over the following 2 years, we worked and became friends also along the way. Hal and I were there to see you, marry Rita, have a wonderful daughter, Belinda, and move into a new home with your super mother-in-law, Millie. John, you have always been there for conversation, counseling, laughter. That is what friendship is all about. I once asked you, John, how you can go on. What keeps you going? You told me that the mental is the most important aspect of just about anything. Another time you told me that seeing the sun cast a shadow on your wheelchair is better than not seeing the sun at all. You are a fine friend and a person who always puts things in the proper perspective for me. Thank you for being my friend. You are now in the 50s, along with me and many other friends of ours. Lucky for you, it won't necessitate shaving your face, as you do that daily now.
No, I do that.
You see, with me,
Diane shaves her face.
you see, with me, hormonal changes makes that daily routine almost a reality. Hal and I are pleased and honored to share in your most special celebration with love. Is Millie here? And then she has something she'd like to read.
John's birthday was actually on the 5th of May, but he kept telling us, I don't want anything, I don't want to celebrate. We said, John, you have to. It's 50 years. He said, so what? Forget it. So Rita said, well, we're going to have a party with him or without him. And so we had a little party on his family for him too. And she said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to throw him off the track and arrange a party on the 12th. So this is it. And thank you all for coming. I'll give you a little background now, John. On May the 5th, 1940, to Agnes and Alex, a baby was born with a little round face, but a great big horn. A boy, and Marksz and Evans were proud. But Mom took one look and she cried out loud. John Marksz was quite a quiet, well-behaved child, with a disposition that was rather mild. I'll tell you a secret. His boyhood dream was to get across the street with a bucket of steam, and that was his father's idea. His father was a tailor. So he thought to keep the kid out of mischief and keep him occupied, he'd give him a bucket of steam. He said, take it across the street to whoever it was across the street. Bartender. And John thought he was doing such a wonderful thing. But he never took the steam over there. It was gone by the time he got there. That was the first time he was very bright young man. Now John, being the oldest, he thought that he could yell and punish the young kids, as his sisters could tell. Well, plowing a field, he got very bold. And that's when Brother Danny got knocked out cold. I don't know that story, but Danny will probably tell you. John has a good head, and plays things real cool. At the age of 22, he entered law school. When he found me reading and met his match, and decided this girl is really a good catch. So he said to Rita, it's time that we win. And legitimately, we both can share the same bed. After 7 years of a compatible marriage, John and Rita went shopping for a baby carriage. His daughter Melinda is a chip off the old block. Sometimes she says things that put her daddy in shock. She knows when he's teasing and he does it all the time. Yet she tries to be pleasing because he's the most favorite dad that she ever had.
And the only one.
He calls her his favorite daughter, so she calls him her favorite dad.
We have some entertainment coming up, but I'd like to ask Jack and Marty if they'd like to say a few words before we get to the entertainment phase. Jack? Jack Graham, for those of you who don't know, he's one of the holy 20 that arrived tonight going back to 1958, right?
John reminded me of something tonight, and it's really true. Great moments in sports. I was a non-drinker, and there was a fraternity brother of ours who's no longer with us, Pete Norris, and he was from Hamilton, Ohio, and Pete was his name on the bar. And John apparently had been introduced to alcohol before I had too. Anyway, I was a year older than these guys, and I was playing basketball. We went to a trout farm that Rick Reading had, and I said, drinking is no big deal. I can drink with anybody. Well, I can say that now, by the way, Jim. But then I said that, but it didn't quite work. And so Pete Norris gave me a little grin and he said, well, how about Manhattans? And I said, why not? What the hell? I thought it was a little island in New York. But and after 4 or 5 Manhattans, John reminded me, they had a big wood-burning fireplace at the trout farm, which my sheriff shipped back into. And they pulled me out of the fireplace, John did. So he sort of saved my life. Or at least I'm not a crispy crinkle right now. I think I'm not as thin as I might have been. And then they put me in the backseat of this car. And the reason that John saved my life was not some humanitarian thing, so forget it. He did it so he could go good while I was in the backseat and do dry heat for about 45 minutes. So they got me in front of the sorority house, the Tiger Twain or dormitory or whatever it was, where I was pinned to Mary Pierce, who used to really sing a lot better than she. Never mind that. But it was a shoe, John. It was a shoe. So, but at any rate, that's another one. She sang, we didn't made us sing out. We'll do that later. How would you like to be a man? Anyway, so there we were, and John cast me out, totally drunk, on the tree lawn, and left me there. And that was it. I don't know your damn thing. This is really a terrible thing to do to a fraternity party. Yeah, right. Right. This is absolutely terrible. But John and I, in our fraternity experience, we have, they're all lined up there. I like the way they did that. Thank you, Bob and Glenn and Jay. And where's Tom?
Over here.
There you go. Jay and myself and John. We had a fraternity experience, and you have a feeling towards these other guys that's hard to explain. Well, it's not hard to explain these days, I guess, but what the hell it was then. We had a hell of a time doing it. But we had a lot of fun. We had dances and stuff, and then we had co-ed dances that came, and we had fun. We had a good time. And John and I were what we call Beta Theta Pi fraternity brothers of the Beta chapter. He was our house manager. He was the guy John is. His friend was saying, you're a unique and wonderful guy. and we love you. We really do. And it's so important when you have a group of people like this to get together to share John's 50th. And I'll tell you, I thought you were 50 when you were 30 years ago. I really did. He knew some stuff I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. In fact, you know, one of my idols, Myrna Zigafoos. Remember her, John? How much she ran the brewery. Remember you used to bring beer all the time? What was that?
Carolyn Brewery.
Carolyn Brewery.
We had a pop machine set up, so put in 10 cents, you got an empty beer bottle, put another 10 cents, you got a full beer bottle.
There you go.
Used to get chips from her. Every employee.
Shit.
Little piece of paper. Pay $2.50 for a case of beer. We sacrificed our bodies, we got these.
I want to say when we sacrifice our bodies, we're talking about John Marksz. And Myrna Zigafoos. No, but John, you did more than your part for that.
Myrna was John Bell's girlfriend.
This wasn't, you got here, who was John Bell's girlfriend? In fact, I understand, John's not here. Yeah, brother, everybody who's not a fraternity of Beta here, I have to tell you that John and Myrna are still seeing one another.
Before we have our entertainment, there's one little story. That's unbelievable. I met John in 1958 in Ragline. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's where all of the fraternity pledges stand up in their underwear, side by side, one big long line, and I think there were 21 of us, so 22. And people like Perky Benedict and other people in the house try to embarrass you and make you do crazy things and so forth. And I brought some pictures along, John, to put in your archives. John said, Jay, he says, I got a little job that I have to take care of every Sunday, and I'm going to need your help on it. And I said, okay. And Sunday came around, and we got in the car, and away we went, and we ended up at John's grandfather's dry cleaning establishment. He says, now, Jay, what I have to do here every Sunday is clean this place. And away we went. But I want to tell you, that was a trip. We did this successfully for several months, and then winter came. We had a big snow, about 3 foot. And I went into John's room one Sunday morning and I said, John, we got to make a stop on the way to the dry cleaners. Because I got a little problem. My grandfather's house is up in Shaker Heights and he's got 3 foot of snow up there and he's an invalid and so is my grandmother. So up we went and when we saw the house, the drifts were almost 6 feet high. So we spent half a day shoveling and half a day cleaning. So that's the initial indoctrination, and we'll get into some other arenas which are a little more fun later. Okay, I think we need to turn the lights down. Is our maestro ready? Ed? Okay. This is Hula Mary.
Yes, where's Jerry? Sure. This is my stage, everybody. Okay, let's give a round of applause for Hula Mary.
until tonight. I remember I was in the 8th grade, and we were in an accelerated group around the city, and they brought us over to Case Western Reserve to meet some of the freshmen and sophomores that were there. And John was a sophomore. And he came over and met all of us, and he took us around the museum and the library, and we're all very impressed with the man. He had his inclination was to talk to any girl who was over 13. And I'm sure you're all over here, I can see how excited you are with all the talk about his fraternity, but something about introducing the lore. Was that the right term, John? The 13-year-old girls, they had to, something about a lore of some kind. They had to know if they were over 13.
L-O-R-E.
L-O-R-E, yeah. I'm not sure. What am I doing here? Everybody over here has to listen about what happened in the fraternity. Is that it? Well, anyways, after the 7th grade, they accelerated me into college, and then that's when I met John Marksz and these other people. Schnackle the Tackle, you met and those people. I can't think of anything funny except we had a theme party that was called a luau theme party, right? And everybody wore luaus, and you walked in, and I had this the only thing I remember is walking in, and Jay's going to finish this story for me because I had a young lady with me who I was really trying to impress with all these sophisticated people. Someone mentioned before they must have been from New York and about Manhattan and things like that. And as soon as I walked in, Jay greeted them by going like this and this. He said, "Fuck you."
Thanks, Bob. Okay, I guess we have one more number, and then we'll hear from some other people.
Bob, you just proved a point. He says that John might have been interviewed because they do bullshit legitimately, and I didn't. I think you're surprised.
Okay, is Dave and Lou Butts here somewhere? Here's Dave. Can we turn the lights up, bartender? Let's turn the lights up and we'll get back to the land of the living here. All right. Dave?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to reminisce with an old friend. John and I go back probably even further than Jack Raymond. It's been a long time since we first met, and a lot of water has gone over the dam. Since that trip to Rondo with my kids, John Pengus and his boys, George and Sam, or the island bash with your old mattress in the back of our pickup truck, Ron's Winery, Chick Linkers, and the cannon scene in the park that got us island stuck. All the good times at George Radabush's, doing the Betas Bake with Jay Schnackle, Artie Savage, Dugar, and anyone else it would take. All of these great times you and I will never forget. Even when we turn 80, that you can bet. Then there were those years of silence between old friends, as everyone was busy with families or following careers to the rainbow's ends. And now here we are to celebrate and to cheer you at 50. Those memories seem like yesterday, but we are together again, and that's nifty.
Is this what Jeremy Dean? I've got a guy here that can help me, Dave. About 20 years ago, when we went up to Foot Bay, my little boat, Dave had this big one up there. We went out fishing by the buoy, just outside Gibraltar. And Dave was getting the cooking gear ready for a huge fish fry. We anchored and we caught perch and bass. Remember that, John? Great afternoon, wasn't it? But 4 o'clock, we looked at one another and said, man, it's cocktail hour. Dave's got the frying pan ready. So you pulled up the anchor, didn't you? And I turned the key and put those 150 horses on that perch. It was wide open, headed towards the dock. We got about 100 yards doing that. And I pulled the throttle back and we both looked at one another and we both said something, if I recall, was, oh shit. And the basket of perch and bass that were hanging over the side didn't have a thick rope on it. We looked over the side and it wasn't there, right? And were you were responsible for the anchor? Weren't you responsible for the fish basket too, guys? Where did we eat that night, John? It wasn't up in town, but we had cheeseburgers and Christmas prawns. Anyway, but the only other thing I can add is the next day, and we survived that night, and the next day we decided to go to the Monzas or a pop or something like that. And a lot of traffic. Wasn't there, Dave? A lot of traffic on that channel going across. And we went over for a couple pops and came back around 4:30 again. We headed for cocktail hours back at Dave. Big boat. A lot of traffic, a lot of waves in there. And John tapped me on the shoulder and said, Carl, Dave's back there. What? And I turned around and Dave's not in the boat, and I saw these arms flailing away, and this guy, I mean, he could have been 5 miles back, and didn't do the thing. And good old Dave held on to a buoy, and we went back and it was a hell of a trip, wasn't it? Happy birthday. That was all in 2 days. Thank you. Where's Fred? I think he wanted to say something. Fred, interlead? If I can get out of this table. Another glass here. Padre. People. Here you go. I'm not going to apologize for this. At the University of Arizona, the betas didn't know the difference between a virgin and one that wasn't. We had a teen party called the Luau at Arizona also. Sounds like they must have been pretty similar. The same guy probably invented them anyway. John and I went to high school together. John and I went to law school together. While I was in law school, we had, my wife and I, one child. And John and I used to study at our apartment because I had the babysitting duty in the afternoon. She must have been about 6 months old, 5 or 6 months old. We had one of these swing sets that you wind up. We put her in the swing set and wind her up. We had to keep winding it up while we studied. She spent a lot of time rocking back and forth. And we were guilty of having an occasional beer in the process of doing our study. We were also guilty of occasionally, this was not my idea. Barbara, this was not my idea. It's been 28 years, but she's still mad at me for this. She's supposed to be mad at John. I keep telling her this was John's idea. We used to give Jeannie a sip of beer. And as time went on, we taught her how to wrinkle her nose. She'd go, if she wanted a sip of beer, this was John's idea. So she'd get a sip of beer. Well, after a while, it didn't take too much beer for her. I'm not sure it took too much beer for us. One afternoon, we had as much as she had, or maybe more. She'd been winding back and forth for quite a while. Her mother was a teacher, so she usually showed up about 4:30 in the afternoon.
One afternoon, John gets her out of the swing, takes a pillowcase, stuffs it in the back of her diaper, and hangs a sign on it that says, "Satchel ass interleague." Kids crawling around the house kind of like this when her mother walks through the door with this sign on it. And I thought, don't think that she's ever going to forgive John for that. Happy birthday, John.
Mary Jo and Dan Marksz, where are you? I think you're next on the desk. Mary Jo and Dan Marksz. Where's Dan? Here he comes. I'll take your picture.
Well, I guess I've got to help the Andy. These people have been too nice to John so far.
You're right.
And, you know, I thought about this a lot, and I've got a lot of stories about John. And I've talked with Georgie and Chucky, and, you know, we've got a lot of... And then I really wanted to tell a nice story.
But you couldn't think of a nice story.
I couldn't think of it. Right? But I just, this one had to keep coming back. Well, John and I, it started out, we wanted to buy this car. Okay, and we wanted to restore it. You don't remember this, do you? Yes, you do. But I want to tell you what a son of a bitch he is. We got him toward this car over, right? He and unfortunately, you know, this man is dead now, but Jerry Potts is dead. Jerry is in the truck, and John and Jerry are in the truck, and they put this car on the end of a chain, and I'm going to tell this, you know, I'm the driver. I've never driven a car before that I can remember, not to any extent. And I'm in the back trying to steer this 36 Ford with a rumble seat. We're going to restore this. We're going to do a nice job. They decide to take me for a joyride. It's on the long chain. It's a country road, right? So they race down this country road. He doesn't remember a word of this. I can see. Look at his eyes.
How familiar.
So they're racing down. They take me for this joyride. I'm sitting in this convertible. You know, he doesn't have a top, and this dust and stuff is coming in my eyes. And I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on. I'm panicked. And they finally decide that I've had enough, and they stop the truck. Right? Luckily, I stopped the car off to the left-hand side. Right? Now you think that's the story, right? Well, that's not the story. You see, because we got to have a place to fix this car. Well, we got this old chicken coop, and we got to put the car somewhere. And the only way to get in the chicken coop, because you know chickens are small, and there's small doors in chicken coops, right? So we got to cut a big door in the chicken coop. Well, what about it? We had to knock the side of the building. So that's what we did. We knocked the side of the building out, and we put the 36 Ford in the building. But you know what? The lumber wasn't worth a darn by the time we got the lumber right over the side of the building on. So we had to go out and find some lumber. So we were finding some lumber. Now here comes the real story, right? John and I are finding some lumber to put on the back of this building that we knocked out. And we put this 36 Ford with a rumble seat convertible in there that we were going to restore. So we're finding this lumber. Well, we know we didn't have any money to pay for lumber, right? So what do you think we did? Who said that? Who said that? Okay, well now, naturally people don't like this when you take their lumber. There's a construction site. So,
Construction site.
right, we're taking, well, it was a Hemlock Hills, he remembers. Look at that. See, I thought he didn't remember, but he remembers. He remembers. Now, John doesn't remember this part because we got separated at this part because someone started to chase us. That's true.
We had a little red ball on the top.
Well, I don't know if he had a little red ball, but I know he had a gun. This guy was, you know, he was Mr. Larson, the constable, you remember. John is a much bolder person than I am. He really is. In fact, I'm surprised someone hasn't mentioned that his nickname in high school was Bull. And that wasn't because of his lawyer proclivities, you know, it was because of his charge ahead through whatever. It wasn't because of his verbal ability. So, now myself, I'm a bit of a wilty, you know, whatever. So when they... Mary Jo, yes. You're not supposed to get personal about this, you know? You're not supposed to tell people about my sex life. In any case, when these people started to chase us, I, you know, naturally had to recover. John? No, not John. He's full, right? So I head for this culvert, and I'm hiding in this culvert. Shivering. Not John. Not John at all. And I hear this crunch, crunch, crackle, crash, and whatever it is through the bushes. And I don't know what's going on because there's more than just John's feet that are going on. And all of a sudden, and a splash and whatever. And I don't know what's happened until about 2 or 3 hours later when I make myself back to the house and find out what's happening. And guess what happened to John? He smelled like... worse.
Falling into something that open your mouth and You gotta understand, this is Rock County. A long time ago, we didn't have septic tanks, we had what you call cesspool. John came crashing to the trash, and of course he didn't see us, and he was covered. Festooned with shit. So, if it wasn't you who thought that John was, never mind.
Bullshit.
Right. Now you know why he is. I love you, John.
One quick story that always impressed me at the Beta House. We were fortunate enough to invite a voluptuous woman to dinner one night. Her name was Irma the Body. She was a star performer on Short Vincent Street. And Brother Freeman had the convertible. So he made the pickup with a few friends, myself, I think Corky Benedict and John. And all the way up Euclid Avenue, Jack's driving this beautiful convertible with Irma the Body in the back seat. I think she was between Corky and John. And he's driving the car with one hand on the wheel, and he's looking out the back of the car, watching Irma. So that was an exciting ride. We get her up, we had a beautiful dinner, and most of the guys were shooting pictures by standing on the table shooting straight down, which was exciting. And then we moved to the house and we went down to the theater to see the show. What reminded me of the story was reference to cats earlier tonight, because John put a cat under his coat and took it in the theater. About halfway through the extravaganza that we were watching for their twin 88s, John stands up and throws the damn cat at us. At which point we were asked to leave the theater. But anyway, that's just one short story. John is no angel, and I'm sure he still is not. Okay, Ginger Marksz, are you here? Yeah. How much fun join me?
I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, I want to say, since you brought it up, Jay, we weren't going to say anything about your thing with cats. We are really amazed that you own cats right now. Because we're not going to tell people, God knows how you used to tie them to helium balloons, run them through presses, frozen, and give them to us flat. Nobody's going to tell you about how you killed my pet duck or stuff like that. Honest, we won't tell that stuff.
Killed your pet duck.
Oh, yeah.
With a machete.
Killed the duck with a machete. First of all, this card is from his nephews that can't be here. One's in California and one's out trying to hustle women tonight.
It was a woman on this card, but we picked it out because it had bunny slippers. We'll get to that. And it says, we made it a man. We wouldn't say you're old. But if you were a chicken, you'd be a nugget by now. 50-year-old one at that. And on the front, we have this old lady with the pink outfit, jogging outfit, holding a cup of coffee. This is from Matthew. It says, caution. Iranian coffee, do not chew grounds, only if you're told by your uncle that they are chocolate. And then there's a fire hydrant here that says, caution. And I'm going to tell you why, is that we always went downtown to lunch, and John has this Amigo that goes faster than all of us can walk. And Matthew, who was only 5 years old, ran into a fire hydrant and hurt himself, and John turned around very seriously and said, "You okay, Matt?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm okay." And John said, "Next time, lift up your leg before you pee on it, will you?" And the bunny slippers. Now, the Easter bunny thing was Easter Sunday. John would call to tell the boys that the Easter bunny was about ready to come through Lakewood. And if they were still good, he wouldn't shoot it before it got to Charlotte, Ohio. Okay, this is from Teddy. I wish I could be there tonight, Uncle John, and tell you how much you mean to me, how much you meant to me growing up, and how much you mean to me now. I love you very much, and happy 50th. I do remember good, bad, and ugly. My Winnie the Pooh, which is still in my bedroom now. Being thrown from your horse, that's the bad. And the ugly. You cheated cards, Uncle John. Like at my 5th birthday party, and we played war, you always won. I'll see you soon, and we'll celebrate together before your birthday month is over. I love you. Hugs and kisses from your nephew and godson, Teddy. This is from Matthew. This isn't going to be as kind. Happy 50th birthday, Uncle John. There have been so many, I can't read this right, good times and good advice that you have given me. You really have helped me through a lot of rough times and probably a few more before it's over. About the ugly, well, I owe you to learning that you don't get mad, Uncle John, you get even. All of the teasing that you have put me through, all I know is that you are definitely the ugliest uncle I know.
All right.
Mine isn't funny. I try to write this over and over, and I just remember the good times about you. For 5 days in a row, I've sat in various places, including the bathroom, because us Marxists read and write in the bathroom. And I try to write about my love and admiration for my big brother John. From a baby sister, you'd think I couldn't be objective. But through John, I was taught honesty and pride and a strong sense of independence. Then everyone here knows my hard-headed brother John wasn't nicknamed Bull just because that's what it felt like to some of you guys when he hit you on the football field. He taught us all that he taught us all to be independent and to stand tall alone, and always all of us learn that. So I can be objective because it takes a hell of a guy to be the one I respect and look up to the most in life. He's been my father at times, and he's been my mother at times, and he's always my friend. We used to call him King John back in his wild days on the farm because of his corralling ways, offering us discipline even if we didn't think we needed it. After all, we were all angels.
Right. Better agree. I'll tell more.
I didn't memorize this. John, it's hard not to look up to you. You accomplished everything you ever tried. You were good in hunting, fishing. You were better than me at riding a horse, which I can't believe. Sports and, every girl you ever wanted. Your inner strength, and possibly because you were. Pretty much. I think that you may even have won the ruler contest in the attic on Maple Road. What do you think, John? John. I don't think any of us could. And now, what can I say more in front of all your friends? I can't tell the world what they don't already know, except that I really believe that the smile on your face shows your inner strength, and the tear in your eyes shows your humanity. The only thing I can say is that I loved you when I was small, I love you now, I'm going to love you forever.
Thank you, great. Okay, we got just a couple more people who want to say something. Charles, and my pronunciation may be bad.
Politano.
There he is.
Motorcycle cop. You were on your motorbike. Go with it. We were going over to the Zip drugstore. They have our cherry Coke or maybe chocolate Coke. The time when you said, "Oh, there's Bob." Here I am on. You are on the gas tank. I'm on the seat. Meanwhile, there's no back tire. And all of a sudden, you turn around, and you go over the curb, and I fly off onto the tire. Remember that guy?
Thank you. Is it Eleanor Powell? Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah.
Michael.
Michael. Eleanor. Here. Comes Eleanor. Joe, why don't you guys come up here and just say a couple words to an old field trailer? Yeah. This is a quiet portion of our trailing answer here.
Tell the story about the horses.
Well, I've given Johnny probably more excitement the last 25 years than most people. Cool lane, taking him up to the Rocky Mountains. And
You guys hear the dog starts, quiet down, quiet down.
sometimes we didn't have a lot of faith with him because he always told us to plead no contest. So we nicknamed him No Contest. But one of the nicest stories I remember about John is when he first met Rita. John was always had a lot of BS. And a lot of field trialers always had BS. Well, he took Rita off to a field trial and told everybody Rita was a Spanish Contessa and couldn't speak any English. So all these macho field trialers, you know what could happen next. He's been really a true, very good friend, both of them. Thank you.
I had John, we was in Warren, Ohio, and we were at a Brown Derby, and we had met this young lady, and we talked her into going back over to the room and having a breakfast. Well, John being John, and all of a sudden she looked like his sister. And John said, "Will you go get some ice?" And when I came back, the door was locked. I said, "Damn, John, you don't need the ice." He said, "That's all I need now." Great guy.
Happy birthday, John.
And as long as you mention the Horsey story, I wore my pinto coat for John. Horsey is not yet. Happy birthday. I tried to explain to my friends at my 50th reunion today that I was going to my son-in-law's birthday party. And the more I thought about it, the better it was. Because he's in-law, and he's our son's brother-in-law. John, I can't believe that when I was graduating from college 50 years ago, you were being born. And then 6 weeks later, when I was getting married 50 years ago,
You were probably that cute little boy. Happy birthday. We're glad you're part of our family. In-law.
Jan, I want to say happy birthday. We met each other at 4 years old. And I know this. When Alona called me out and said, "Do you know Alona Marksz?" And I had to say yes. I said, "What happened?" I was scared at first. The day I moved in the house next door to you, John, you were standing by the rock. Daniel was in the grass over there. They had to move him around a little bit those days. He couldn't walk. When Alona said, "You know, it's John's birthday," well, it was May 5th. I knew that. Because my birthday is 2 weeks before yours. And I had a little party too at 50. But I'll tell you, John, when I saw What Can We Talk About or whatever else it was, I didn't know the kind of group that you were in front of or whatever else it would have been. I don't want to embarrass you, believe me. Okay, first of all, I cannot believe he has a cat. I'll tell you about a cat. At about 7 years old, he had a cat. Do you remember what the name of the cat was? Muncie, you're right. We used to take Muncie up on the second floor and drop.
I think you want to.
luau. We never had a luau. No, we never had a luau. Who's up there talking about a luau?
Tom Benish.
No luau.
Tom Benish donated that here. You're right.
Yeah, I was going to say it was just Tom's fault.
Come on.
You remember the third verse?
Want me to get you in some?
I don't need to be in there.
Why not? You sure? They sing this well in college too. Oh, we're great. Hope we give it up. Reunion is Is it going?
Hey, this is Mark's birthday. Happy, happy birthday is what we wish for you. Happy birthday, Johnny dear. May all your dreams come true.
Don't we sound good?
Yeah.
You ought to take that.
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow.
All right.
Hey, what are you doing?
We wanted to have the stepbrothers here tonight, John. They were performing in Vegas and they couldn't make it here. The plane.
They were really on the step,
right.
you know? They're out of fashion now.
He's a youngster or later
Are you leaving?
No.
Then I called yesterday that that we were coming. Everybody went to the mail. Yeah. And I had to go to that. What's that? Have a dinner.
And it's not even July or August. I know.
Is this song?
Take care again, old buddy. Happy birthday to you. See you again real soon.
Oh, no, never again. Never again. I don't have that much patience. Zero.
Now we'll be here in 2 minutes. He's over there tied up with the Greek. There's only left when they started talking Greek. Remember when he's trying to get in? He said things like, I can tell you something. I got a little nervous so that they'd be hostile. 15 minutes.
He went off today with It's so cute. I gotta go say hello to you. He came late.
No, yeah, you're not going to.
No.
Levert. For real?
You're for real.
Oh, wow.
Just say happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John.
All right.
Many more.
All right.
When he told that story, he said, "Oh, believe it." And they're calling for help. Oh my God!
You all rushed through it. You want to rush through it.
Sure it is. Not with these guys. You're on, Carl.
John eating glass.
John ate a glass at our house in about 1968 or 1969. This is Lynn and Carl Dill. I was out of the room at the time, but Carl was right there and watched him eat the whole thing.
It's really unbelievable that
He's alive. We worried the next day.
John took a whiskey sour glass that's so high, and it's
How high?
so high,
A whiskey sour glass.
and it's rounded, and he bit off a piece,
And chewed it on down.
totally chewed it up, and then he would go around and around and around and around
Systematically, all the way around.
all the way down to the stem, and you could see him swallow, and say, well, have another drink or a glass of water, and we'll see you.
I was absolutely terrified that the man was going to gush blood.
No,
No, he ate the glass part.
And there was absolutely no way that man
And he's still
held
alive.
it in his cheeks like a
He
squirrel,
swallowed it. He swallowed
and
it.
then spit it out when he
Do
went
not
outside.
ask him how he did this, and it was not the first time he'd ever done
He
it.
doesn't remember now.
Oh yeah, he does. Sure he does, and it wasn't the first time he'd done it. He had done it before. Ask the Betas, I'm sure he'd done it
Do
a
not.
great many times.
Do not ask him to do it tonight.
Oh, no. I think this, it just absolutely flabbergasted me that hopefully it's the last time he ever did it.
Fortunately, they were not expensive glasses.
They were the cheap whiskey sour glasses, the thick ones.
But he did it, and I've got lots of people that remember.
Oh, yeah.
I've got friends today that didn't know John until that evening. They still talk about him.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine.
Oh, there's the man who ate the glass, you know, Kelly. Is he brain dead or what? Yeah.
Our son Jason has big glasses before, you know, like, he did a real expensive one. This was at someone's house. It was a little one, and they said, oh, go ahead, let him have it. It's a cute little glass. He's going, oh, I just got used to this last summer. So he's going, Mom, this is very cute, but what's the crunchy stuff in it? And I'm going, it's the crunchy stuff, and he's holding this glass. Not ice. Oh, spit, spit. spit, you know. And then he did it at Easter again, too.
And to think that the person eats a fish bone before they can die and choke from one little bone, and here's the person.
You know, I kept thinking of glass shredding intestines.
Oh, yeah.
John never worried about it.
All will pass in time.
All will pass in time, and it certainly didn't bother him that much, but it bothered me a lot.
Well, maybe that's what he needs next time he gets constipated. We'll just bring him a glass for supper.
Grind up a plate or something like that. Make sure it's whiskey sour. That's obviously what he was into. Okay, kiddo. Bye. Bye. Thanks. See you.
Have a good summer.
John eating glass.
John ate a glass at our house in about 1968 or 1969. This is Lynn and Carl Dill. I was out of the room at the time, but Carl was right there and watched him eat the whole thing.
It's really unbelievable that
He's alive. We worried the next day.
John took a whiskey sour glass that's so high, and it's
how high?
So high.
A whiskey sour glass.
And it's rounded, and he bit off a piece.
And chewed it on down.
Chewed it. Totally chewed it up and then he would go around and around and around and
Systematically,
around.
all the way around.
All the way down to the stem, and you could see him swallow and say, well, have another drink or a glass of water, and we'll see it.
I was absolutely terrified that the man was going to gush blood.
No,
he ate the glass part.
And there was absolutely no way that man...
And he's still alive.
Held it in his cheeks like a
He
squirrel.
swallowed it. He swallowed it.
And then spit it out when he
Do
went
not
outside.
ask me how he did this, and it was not the first time he'd ever done it.
He doesn't remember now.
Oh, yeah, he does. Sure he does, and it wasn't the first time he'd done it. He had done it before. Ask the Betas, I'm sure he'd done it
Do
a
not.
great many times.
Do not ask him to do it tonight.
Oh, no. I think this, it just absolutely flabbergasted me, but hopefully it's the last time he ever did it.
Fortunately, they were not expensive glasses.
They were the cheap whiskey sour glasses, the thick ones.
But he did it, and I've got lots of people that remember.
Oh, yeah.
I've got friends today that didn't know John until that evening. They still talk about it.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's the man who ate the glass, you know. Kelly. Is he brain dead or what?
Yeah. Our son Jason has bit glasses before, you know, like he did a real expensive one. He was at someone's house. There was a little one, and they said, "Oh, go ahead, let him have it. It's a cute little glass." And going, "Oh, he's not used to this last summer." So he's going, "Mom, this is great juice, but what's the crunchy stuff in it?" And I'm going, "It's the crunchy stuff," and he's holding this glass.
Not ice.
Oh, spit, spit, spit. You know? And then he did it at Easter again too.
And to think that the person eats a fish bone before they can die and choke from one little bone, and here's the person.
You know, I kept thinking of glass shredding intestines.
Oh, yeah.
John never worried about it.
All will pass in time.
All will pass in time, and it certainly didn't bother him that much, but it bothered me a lot.
Well, maybe that's what he needs next time he gets constipated. We'll just bring him a glass for supper.
Grind up a plate or something like that. Make sure it's whiskey sour. That's obviously what he was into. Okay, kiddo. Bye. Bye. Thanks. See you.
Have a good summer.